Gender. It has somehow become a controversial topic in recent time. Oh no, there's only two genders. Oh no, you can be whatever you want. Conflicting opinions like that come up quite regularly, and people are defining themselves with more and more genders every day. But this isn't a political channel, so if you came here expecting me to validate either or, that's not what I'm here to do. Well, kinda. That's only half true. What I'm setting out to do is talk about this manga I enjoyed, and if that happens to validate someone's opinion along the way, then all I can say is, damn bro, shit happens I guess. So, Prunus Girl is the subject of today's video. It's a cute little romance manga I found. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to this amazing manga. So, Prunus Girl starts with our main character, Maki Makiro. Looking at his results for the high school tests. He purposely came later than everyone else to avoid the crowds because people are yucky. A random note flies through the wind and hits him in the head. A ticket? Number 0215. Aikawa Kisuna. Sorry. The wind blew it out of my hand. It was love at first sight. Maki instantly thought that this was his fated meeting with the girl of his dreams. My name is Aikawa Kisuna, and despite how I look, I'm male.
You're gay! He's gay!
And with that, just as fast as it started, his first love with the girl of his dreams ended. A month passes and he's still not quite over the shock, and since he hates crowds, we find him sitting on the school roof, eating alone, until he comes. It's a little late to say this, but dude, you totally look like a girl. Oh my, have you fallen for me? No, that's not what I'm saying. I just find myself thinking that you might really be a girl from time to time. If that's the case, wanna fill me up and find out? What? Go ahead, anywhere you like. It shouldn't bother you since we're both guys, right? This is basically the dynamic that they have throughout the entire manga. Aikawa flirts with Maki, and Maki has to remind himself that he's a guy, and he's not gay. Pfft, how could he be? Here, it's a love letter. No. I don't have my hopes up. Nope, I don't. Anyway, she is a guy, so just get your hopes down already. You listening? Yeah, I got it. I understand. He's definitely fruity. I don't buy it. Moving on past all the extra stuff, we come to the last scene of chapter 1. So Maki's chilling in the library as he tends to often do, and then Aikawa comes to him with a piece of candy. They talk a bit and the conversation goes towards his gender for what I think is obvious reasons. Since you wear those clothes, you must wish you were born a girl, right? Well, I wonder. Huh? Am I a guy or a girl? Which one do you think is true? I am fine with whatever you end up thinking. To him, gender doesn't matter. There's no, oh, there's only two genders, or oh, there's 100 million bajillion genders. He doesn't care. He just kinda is how he is, and he dresses how he wants to dress. I have here magical candy. 2 of them. This peach candy makes me a girl, body and soul, and this cola candy makes me a boy, body and soul. Maki-kun, pick one and feed it to me.
Ain't no way he's pulling a matrix on my boy.
Maki starts by just dismissing it. It doesn't matter since the magic candy isn't real type of deal. But as he keeps thinking about it, he starts taking the choice seriously. The choice is obvious, right? If he was a girl, that would be ideal. Or would it? He gives Aikawa candy. Wait, no, he gives him both. Aikawa is just fine the way he is. Why does it matter what gender he is? What difference does it really make? This is the question this manga sets out to answer, with the help of a character that has an ambiguous gender and a guy that is very obviously 100% straight. Now that should do for an intro. So that's Prunus Girl. If you're interested, I do really recommend reading it and then coming back. Matter of fact, I'll give you a moment if you want to do that. Alright, enough delay, let's get into it. Now, I had a lot of trouble writing the script for this video, since usually in my long form videos, which is what I planned this to be, you can look down on the watch time, it's not really. But what I usually do is I go through the manga arc by arc or chapter by chapter, And my point is, I go through all the events that happened, but for this manga, I really couldn't do that. And in a way, that was actually interesting. Prunus Girl is a romance, a comedy romance, a rom-com if you will, about two high schoolers falling in love and realizing that gender doesn't matter and shouldn't keep them from each other. It's simple but effective. There's this scene in chapter 30 in which, I guess I do have to explain why they're in fucking wedding clothes. Right, so the student council president had both of them put into these clothes and then told the entire school that if you caught either of them, you get to go on a date with said person. And them being the most popular kids in the school, this meant they basically had the entire student body after them. After getting away from everyone, Maki pulls out a key that he got from the student council president in return for agreeing to this insane game of his. Maki uses the key to take Aikawa to the top of the tower and then... You know, I was thinking about the two of us coming up here sometime, so it's like I figured this would be the perfect chance. Wait, what did I just say? It's chapter 30, so Maki has obviously become way more comfortable with Aikawa, to the point where him being by his side has become natural to him. So in his brain, it was only natural to want to do something special with him. But then when he again realizes that he's doing and saying all these things to another boy, it all starts to feel strange. His natural feelings were to want to do something special for him, but since he's been raised with the social norm being a guy dating a girl, he can't even think for a second that he has any special feelings for this guy. What I'm trying to say here is that what was normal for him was to not care, yet the norms of society has him thinking that it was kinda weird for him to even think that in the first place. Chapter 35. Maki and Aikawa are chilling on the roof, and after a conversation about marriage and grandchildren, you know, normal topics between two boys, Aikawa falls onto Maki, and this shit has happened so many times he's just used to it. So instead of reacting, he just asks, "Why do you cross-dress?" Aikawa has a very simple answer. Because it fits me. He doesn't do it because he wishes he was born a girl or wants to look like a girl. He doesn't really care about all that gender stuff. He just dresses the way he does because he thinks he looks nice that way. Honestly, he puts it better than I ever could. There's no big special reason why I started, and it's not like I absolutely have to dress this way either. But having something that suits you means that something is like you. It means you can be you, and that's really important, don't you think? Yes, I do think. Thanks for asking. It happens every once in a while. I have said this once before in my Chuunibyou video I did a while back, and I'm happy I get to touch on this topic again because that video has not aged well. People often tend to say things like, well, of course I'm myself, who else would I be? But what they don't realize is that for a lot of people, just being yourself isn't the easiest thing. Honestly, I think everyone has moments where they aren't quite themselves. But even so, I think no matter who you are, it feels the best when you are yourself. So yeah, it makes sense that Aikawa thinks that it's a very important thing. I can't do anything except agree. I also think it's very important to always be yourself, so I always stress to anyone I talk to be themselves around me, even if you can't around anyone else, because I truly think that there's never anything better you can be than yourself. Christmas, chapter 41. Happy holidays, everyone. Maki has bought a gift for Aikawa, but he's struggling to give it to him. His curfew is about to end, he doesn't have all the time in the world, yet still he's struggling. He tries to tell himself he's just giving a Christmas present to his friend, you know, it's another guy, right? There's no reason to be so nervous. Eventually he does end up giving it to him, and then, what's the reason I bought that present? Simply because I wanted to see Aikawa happy? Yeah, I admit it. The only times he could get himself to get Aikawa a gift was when it was either his birthday or Christmas, because then he had an excuse to give himself. No, I don't have any special feelings for him, this is just normal. Normal. What really is normal? Whenever I ask that, people always think I'm trying to make a point, but that's not really true. Every time I've asked someone to describe to me what normal is, it's been a different answer. Either that or they just tell me that it's what the norms are at the time. But even norms aren't very reliable at all. What you think is normal can differ so much depending on how you've lived your life. How am I supposed to know what people say when they say normal? That word can mean literally anything. And therefore, to me, it means fucking nothing. A word that means a completely different thing depending on who you ask? How can you call that a word? Yeah, there's times where people can agree that someone or something is abnormal, and there's some sentences where it makes sense, like when describing that the normal size of a pineapple or fucking something. Then it makes sense, but only then. When describing behavior or people, it simply doesn't make any sense. And yet, people are so affected by this word that has no real meaning. Maki is clearly in love with Aikawa, but since to him that wouldn't be normal, he doesn't even allow himself to realize it. There's no such thing as normal, and I'll fucking die on that hill. The last chapter, unless you count the bonus chapter, that is, chapter 42. Let's go through this one start to finish. Maki's walking to school thinking, it was a day just like this when I met Aikawa. And think of the devil, I guess. Anyway, point is, there he is. Wow, look at him. Aikawa also starts talking about how this day is just like when they first met. And he says, would it have been better if I was actually a girl after all? Nah, I don't think so. There's not an ounce of hesitation. In the first chapter, Maki's asked this exact same question, and it takes him a while just to end up basically saying that he didn't really want to choose either of them. But now it didn't take him even a second. What gender Aikawa is doesn't matter. He's finally realized this. Maki is sitting in class as he looks over to Aikawa and just smiles. I guess it turns out I fell in love with him a long time ago, right after we first met, and that up until now I've just been avoiding admitting that simple fact. Guys, he knows. He thinks about what to do moving forward, but before he can even finish his pondering, Aikawa shows up. Class already started, you know? Oh, you're right, I didn't notice at all. Pretty rare to see you skip. You always show up to class, even if you don't want to. You're skipping class too, aren't you? You've been acting weird recently, so I came to check on you. Come on, tell me, what's wrong? It's nothing. So you say, but we talked about why I cross-dressed before, right? And I told you it was because it suits me. The truth is, that's only one of the reasons. It's true that's why I started, and I still think that even now. But I found another reason after coming to Midorinoka. Specifically, it was after I met this guy, the day the test results got posted. I'd always dressed this way for my own sake, but the day I started doing it for that guy to see too. I suppose you could say I wanted to get his attention. You could also say I wanted him to compliment me. Up until then, I've never even thought about cross-dressing for someone else's sake, but once I did, I couldn't stop my heart from pounding. Thinking back on it, it might have been love on first sight. Aikawa, you're saying that totally aware of how I feel, aren't you? Whatever could you mean? Maki-kun, I'm a guy, but is that okay with you? It doesn't matter if you're a girl or if you're a boy. I love you, Aikawa. This is how it should be! Excuse me being cliche here, but love is love. And I don't mean that creepy ass poster with the 36-year-old dating the 10-year-old, okay? Of course I don't support pedophilia, but everything that isn't, you know, that is okay. Don't let something stupid like fucking norms or other people's opinions stop you from being with whoever you love. And honestly, this goes away from just love. The point of this video is to say that gender doesn't matter. You can be a guy and wear dresses. You can be a girl and what's the guy thing to do? I don't know, play sports. point is, do what the fuck you want. Because you'll simply enjoy life more that way.